Hello, Gabrielle here. If we have not met before, I am a licensed clinical social worker and Medicare subject matter expert, and I run the Facebook community and website Medicare Consulting for Therapists.com. And one of the most asked questions that I get all the time is how do I figure out my Medicare rate? How much is Medicare going to pay me? So, I'm going to walk you through it today. I have another blog slash video where I went through this, but it was kind of an easy example. So let me show you a couple different ways of how you can figure this out. So first of all, if you haven't gone to my website, I have lots and lots of resources on the resources page, also on the blog, but I'm going to go to the resources page, and most of these are free. I have lots of articles I've been quoted in. Our community is linked here, guides, checklists, videos, podcasts I've been on. And then down here is where we are going for rates, because that's what we're talking about today. So even though Medicare is national, every state is split up into a different region. So you'll want to look on this map, even though it says December 2020, nothing has changed, and see who your Medicare Administrative Contractor is. So again, Medicare is national, but after the initial application, anytime you have a question about rates or eligibility or claim status or anything to do with Medicare or Medicare client or patient, you're going to go to your MAC. So this is important for people to know also, because people will like quote fee schedules and rates, and they really do differ throughout the region. So you need to go to your MAC, your Medicare Administrative Contractor, and check the rate there, because the rate that's in California is going to be a lot different than the rate that's in Florida, for example. So I have all the links here, and you can look at this map and see which one you're in. So I'm going to show you a couple examples. So the first one, I'm just going to click on Novitas. And this takes us directly to the fee schedule for Novitas. And I went to this one because my practice was in Colorado, so I'm pretty familiar with it. But this also manages Arkansas, Louisiana, Mexico, blah, blah, blah. So you can see up there who it manages. And here we're just going to put in a procedure code. I'm going to do 90837 because that's one that therapists use most often. I'm going to keep today as the date of service. And then if I choose Colorado, it's going to say the entire state because there are no localities. It's just one for Colorado. Then I'm going to hit search. And this is where it gets kind of confusing. And each MAC also looks a little bit different. So first of all, for these purposes, I'm just kind of assuming that everybody who's looking at this or who is considering this is going to be a participating provider. There is something called non-participating provider. That's a whole nother video that I'm not going to get into. We're thinking about participating. If you are going to be a Medicare provider, you're enrolled, you're going to bill Medicare, you're participating. Also, I think for most of the folks who follow me or who would be looking at this video, you are like, I'm thinking of my Medicare Facebook community. Almost everybody in there is in outpatient mental health or outpatient PT, OT, SLP services. So we're looking over here at this higher rate because over here you can see it says when performed in a facility setting. That's if it's performed in a facility. So, and it even tells you the place of service codes that this would be used for. And we often are not using those codes because we're not working in facilities. We're working in outpatient mental health and private practice. So we're ignoring facility setting because that has nothing to do with us. So we're looking at the fee schedule amount for a participating provider, not in a facility. So you can see the effective date for this is January 1st, 2025. 156.60 is the amount that we're looking at. However, if you are a master's level, there's the word, master's level therapist, you get 75% of that. So if you are a PsyD, a psychologist, you're a licensed psychologist, you're practicing under that license, you get this full rate. Anybody who's master's level, so, and I know this varies by state, LCSW, LICSW, LMHC, LPC, some states LPCC is the full licensure level. LMFT, MFT, you are master's level, you're going to get 75% of this. So now we have to do some math. So 156.60, my calculator comes up. You get 75% times 0.75. So 117.45 would be the total amount that you would get from all of Medicare. I'm going to explain what that means in a second. I want to mention this because a lot of times people will say, well, I went online and it said 156.60 and I only got paid blah, blah, blah. What gives? That's because as a master's level, you only get 75% of the posted rate. So you will get 117.45. However, the other piece to this is that you are also only going to get 80% from Medicare. So Medicare is set up, 80% comes from Medicare, the other 20% comes from the client's supplemental plan, possibly Medicaid, or the client will owe you that 20%. And this depends on a couple of factors. I talk about this more in my Medicare billing course. So if you want to know all of the details about that, you can go check out the course or join some of my live webinars or reach out to me for a one-on-one consult and I'll walk you through it. So 117.45 is the rate for master's level. 80% of that is going to come from Medicare. So actually 93.96 is what you'll get paid from Medicare. So 117, let's just round this up a little bit. So about $24, maybe $23 and some change is the other 20%. That's going to come from the supplement, or the client is going to owe it, or possibly Medicaid, depending on the situation. So I just want you to be clear that not all of that 117 would come directly from Medicare. So you get paid that $93 from Medicare, and then that 20% is the coinsurance that is either picked up by the client, Medicaid, or supplemental. Okay, so that one's pretty easy because it's really easy to find on Novitas. So let's do one that's maybe a little bit more difficult, like NGS. So here we're looking on this side. You are a Part B provider if you are outpatient mental health. Part A is for hospitals and facilities. So again, most of us who are following me and looking at these videos, you're a Part B provider because that's outpatient services. And then let's pick Illinois. So I was looking at that yesterday. We're gonna enter. And then you'll see right here the fee schedule. So click fee schedule. Select fee schedule. This is another place where people get tripped up. Medicare physician fee schedule pricing, that's you. Even though you're not a physician, those are all the fee schedules for outpatient services, and you don't fit into any of these other things. I'm just gonna do full fee schedule, and I'm gonna do today. Now region. What do all these things mean? I'm going to show you. Scroll down and you can see that there's different localities because there's different rates in different regions of the state. So if we do Illinois, then we're going to come up with a county. Let's just pick, let's just do Cook County. Search. Locality area lookup is 16. So I'm going to go back up here, select region, Illinois area 16. Search. Now, this one's going to be an Excel file, which hopefully does not make my computer freeze because I have too many tabs open. Give it a second. It's thinking. Okay, there it goes. So for this one, you could just keep this, you know, if you have a practice where you're billing lots of different codes or you just want to check on them periodically. So this first, well, this actually, I guess, will be the first column. I'm thinking where the fees are. This column is participating. So you always want to look at participating, ignore non-participating and limiting if you are a provider that accepts Medicare. We have the effective date. So I'm going to just do Control F. It's already there for me, 90837. And same thing here, you're going to see that we have two rates. One has a hashtag next to it. This one is the facility rate. How do I know that? Because it's less money. The facility rates are always less. So I know that this hashtag next to this means that this is a facility rate. So that's not my problem because I'm not doing things in a facility. I want to look at the participating non-facility rate, which is 158.54. So same thing here, if you're not a psychologist and billing under a psychologist's license, 158.54 times 0.75 means you get 118 and I guess 91 cents. But the 80%, don't forget, only 80% comes from Medicare. So you're actually going to get paid directly from Medicare, 95.12 cents, and the rest of that is, what is that, about same thing, probably about $24-25. That's gonna come, the other 20% is the co-insurance. That will come from the client's supplemental, probably not Medicaid in Illinois, or it'll be owed to by the client. But again, if you have more questions about that, grab my course and I explain it. So that's for Illinois. And a couple of other states that NGS does here. We have Connecticut here, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New Hampshire, New York, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Wisconsin. So remember, just go to my website. I have them all linked here. Sometimes you do have to click around a little bit. For example, this is Meridian Jurisdiction E. Same thing, it goes right to the fee schedule. But if you don't know your state or your locality, so these have, right, because California is so big, there's all these different areas. If you're not sure, you just got to scroll down and it'll tell you which area you're in. And then you can download the Excel for each of those. So you just got to click around a little bit. Sometimes, so Meridian covers these states here, and then the other Meridian jurisdiction covers some other states. And if you just scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can go to the portal, or you can go to the contact us, and then actually I'm going to actually scroll back up, because if you go to the main Meridian page, you can switch the jurisdictions if you need to. So jurisdiction E, Medicare Part B is here. Jurisdiction F, Medicare Part B is here. So you can see these are some different states that Meridian covers. So like I said, you just gotta click around a little bit, but everything you ever need with Medicare is in your Max website. The policies, the codes that are covered, the diagnoses that are covered, the fees, everything is here. So I hope that was helpful. If you need more help, feel free to sign up for my email newsletter. I send out weekly emails about upcoming Medicare changes, helpful tips, things that can just help you continue to grow and scale your practice. You can also join our Facebook group over here. And if you need anything else, feel free to send a contact form through my website or grab my courses, where you get lifetime access and unlimited replays and all of the Medicare information you could ever need right at your fingertips. Thanks so much.